What's up, guys? First and foremost, happy holidays. I am recording this the same day I'm going to be posting it. It's not a normal thing for me to do that, but when it comes to Rants with Red, I do post it the same day, kind of the point of the rant, right? Um, it is around dinner time, so this will probably be posted a little bit, a couple hours from now. In recovery, we have things that happen. Unfortunate things from time to time. Things are going good, things are going great, and then there's always something that makes an attempt to knock you down. It's a part of recovery, unfortunately, but it is true. I dealt with that today, and thank you, Lord. I dealt with it as best as I felt I possibly could have. But we'll get to that. Relapse. Talked about it before on my last rant. Going to talk about it again, guys. So, had a couple roommates. Unfortunately, they're no longer roommates. Made some bad choices. Had relapse. In my opinion, one pulled the other one into the mix. But hey, I am not a therapist, nor am I in any place to pass judgment. Choices were made. And for every action, there is a reaction. Believe you me, they got their reaction. I don't know if it was one they were looking for, but they sure as heck got it. This disorder is very fickle. It takes no prisoners, or it takes all prisoners, depending on how you look at it. Recovery is something you have to take serious. It has to be given the attention it deserves. And I was in recovery. I was in recovery for actually a decent amount of time, not long enough, clearly, because I did end up relapsing, and here I am, coming up on 9 months, just after the first of the year, and excited, happy about it, looking forward to the future, looking forward to what's to come. And unfortunately, I was really close with one of these people that's no longer with us, and that hurt. And I had to deal with things as best I thought I could and had the resources to. So I spoke about it with somebody that I trust and confide in. It's not my primary therapist, but it is he or she is a therapist, and I confided in this person with full trust in their judgment and feedback. And I'm thankful I did, because it helped. I went through a feeling like it was partially something that I could have helped. I could have stopped in one case. As I said before, I felt like one person pulled the other one in. One person had been dabbling in drinking from time to time. I knew what was going on. Did not have a good rapport with this person, not by choice, but it was just a stigma of the relationship was that way. We weren't close. And this person shared a room with the other person. The other person happens to be the person that I felt like I had a good relationship with. I have still been talking to that person. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no rules against that, right? Letting him know, just like I let everybody know on this podcast, if you're active in recovery, we are here waiting with open arms. And that is just something that I can't show and say enough. We want you guys over here. We want anybody and everybody that wants this thing, but you gotta want it. And you are listening to somebody that wants it. I want it. And I'm getting it because I want it. I felt like I could have stopped the other person from getting involved. It was going on for a little bit, and the other person was strong-willed until he wasn't. I came home and they were both drunk. Now, I will say this: drinking is not a trigger for me. Drinking is not my choice of drug, if you will. But they ultimately made their choices. They made their bed. They ripped their bed apart. Whatever they did to their bed, it was their bed. And that reaction for their actions definitely happened. Unfortunate to them, they're no longer in the program that I'm a part of. And I will say I wish them nothing but the best, especially the holidays. I don't wish harm on anybody. Even if I don't get along with you, I don't wish harm on you. I want you to do good things. I want you to be active and proactive and a part of things in a great way, a part of your community. And, us addicts, they say, are some of the most intelligent minds in the world. And I always say that because I see it. I feel it in myself, in others around me. The program I'm in, and I'm never going to bring up the actual program. Hopefully I haven't, and I'm not just completely going against something I already did. It's an amazing program. I was really excited when I got into it. I was so happy. I was just absolutely ecstatic about it. I was happy. And, some things took place that made me feel like people didn't have my back. And then right after that, within 24 hours, I got 2 roommates getting kicked out. And that they weren't related in that manner. In my case, I went about something the right way. It was shot down. I listened because I don't make the rules. Something that I used to be really bad about, making my own rules. And we see how that got me, right? In and out, in and out, in and out. So the other person, ironically, the roommate that I don't get along with, he didn't go about it the right way. Took it upon himself to go the way he wanted and got away with it. And, this was something that I felt wronged. And when I brought it up to certain people, they didn't validate what I was thinking and what I was feeling. But ultimately, the right people did. And I'm very fortunate enough to have met somebody that's a part of the program in an employee capacity. He or she they are awesome. I got, and I'm guilty. I'm guilty of giving a judgment by first impression of seeing this person. I may or may not have used the term RBF, allegedly. Couldn't have been more wrong. And I'm thankful I'm wrong. I'm not sorry that I'm wrong, that I was wrong. Well, let me say it like this. I'm sorry that I was wrong, but I'm glad that I was wrong. And in the midst of that, I got to know, I felt like I got a little bit of a better rapport with somebody that I didn't know that was already an employee of the program. So that was a cool experience. I'm all about experiences. I'm all about networking. I love people. I love talking to people. I love networking with people. And there's not one person that I'm not comfortable talking to. I have no problem with public speaking. I did as a young kid. It's really weird. But now looking back, I don't even know what I was uncomfortable about. I can talk to anybody. As long as I know the subject, I'm not just winging stuff that I don't know. I'm ready. Let's do it. I am down. So that happened, and I'm going to deal with that accordingly. But 24 hours later, the person that got away with it, he took it upon himself to get himself kicked out anyway. So that just goes to show that you got to trust in your higher power. Prayer, whatever's meant to be is going to be. You don't have to take it into your own hands and make this thing happen because this didn't happen or did happen. Trust, have faith, believe. And I think that is all so pertinent when it comes to recovery. You know, the steps, man, right? The steps make it very clear that you're having the willingness, right? I'm sure the sound just changed. I heard it change. I'm sure you guys just did too. I wanted to grab the old big book. I recently invested into the AA. I happen to like, personally, I like the 12 steps AA versus the NA. I have both books. I got this fancy smancy Alcohol Anonymous big book, the old, it's got the original look to it. Thought it was pretty cool. Figured I'm getting ready to buy myself a book. Why not? And really happy about this book, actually. And I've been reading the doctor's opinion, which I find very very fascinating, actually. The doctor's opinion really brings a lot of things to light. So that's been a good experience. My sponsor has me reading that. So, and I would have never probably read it. All truth be told, I probably would have never read the doctor's opinion if it wasn't for my sponsor. So going about that, and you know, we find out about our higher power, right? We the thing about it is we have the willingness. And we have rigorous honesty, all these things that come up. All these things that come up that are definitely a part of recovery. And I had that come up with the fact that I had to have faith in my higher power. And I did at the time even. And not everything's always going to work out in the timing that we want to. You know, us addicts, we want that instant gratification. Now, not never, but now. And if we don't get now, King Baby comes out, doesn't it? Well, listen, we put ourselves into this mess. It's not weird that it's going to take a little bit of work and digging the nails into the dirt to get out of this mess, right? We put ourselves in one whop of shit. And that's unfortunate, but it's a part of it. We did this. We knew what we signed up for. We knew what we were doing when we continued to do it, regardless if we cared about it or not. Come to that realization. But my higher power has my back. My Lord and Savior. I love him. I love you guys. I love you, God. I love you, God. I said guy, but either way, I love him. I talk to him every day. You know what I did? So my sponsor says, pray on your knees, pray every morning, every night. And I asked him, I said, I'm going to be honest with you, man, because I'm all about habits. How do I get myself in that habit? Because I truly want to do what he's saying. And he gave me it's so simple, but it makes so much sense. At night, put your shoes under your bed. The shoes you're going to wear the next day, put them under your bed. While you're down putting them under your bed at night, pray. The next morning, when you go to get your shoes, you're going to have to get on your knees to get underneath that bed and get those shoes. Pray while you're down there. Well, guess what, guys? For one, I still got my shoes. So that should tell you what number 2 is. I've been getting down on my knees, praying to the guy upstairs every morning, every night, faithfully. And it has been making my days that much better. Now back to what happened today and what ultimately sparked me wanting to do this podcast. That is to talk about a therapist physician. as a therapist or as a client of a therapist. Now, mind you, all these things that I say, they are my opinion. It doesn't mean they're right or wrong. I'm giving you my opinion, and while doing that opinion, I am ranting. That is the point of this episode, calling Rants with Red. So, I had a situation happen right before the holidays. A therapist asked me, and he or she, I felt at first, was trying to, see how I was doing, because I had two roommates that relapsed heavily, had a lot of stuff go down. They're no longer in the program, and they're not allowed to come back. And I thought it was a genuine thing. And I was thinking in my mind, as he or she was saying about asking how I was thinking to myself, man, that's really nice. Right before the holidays, I really appreciate this. This is awesome. Well, I spoke too soon in my mind, because she said, she or he, that was fucked, said, it didn't make you want to go and cop? It didn't make you want to go to the city? And I said, no. What? No. I'm not even from the city. I don't have it like that out there. And then therapist said it again, but focused on, are you sure you didn't go to the city? Immediately. Well, I shouldn't say immediately, but at that point, that's when the little antennas started going, ooh, I said, whoa, wait. So you're serious? You're really asking? I said, no, I was at home with my roommate. My roommate, to give you some background, that I share a bedroom with, I couldn't have a better roommate. That's not to say there's people in this program that I wouldn't roommate with. I just feel like I hit the lottery with him. And we all know it's a him, because let's just be honest, we're not doing co-ed rooms. Not that lucky. So I said, well, you can ask my roommate. I was home all night. And my therapist said, no, not going to trust your roommate. Didn't even ask who it was. Not going to trust your roommate. They're just going to back you up. Doesn't matter whatever you say, they're going to back up. Yeah, because I had time to plan for this, right? There's strike one. Strike two. As a therapist, they're supposed to do anything and everything to help you, to be there for you, to talk you off a ledge, to, if you did jump off a ledge, find out a way to get you back in the building. My therapist did not do that. My therapist looked me square in my eyes and said, I feel like you're lying to me. And I said, well, your feeling's off. Why do you keep lying to me? At that point, I knew it was in my best interest, because I have one hell of a voice that carries. And if I get angry, I promise you. Now, mind you, I have not brought out that anger voice in quite some time. I actually couldn't remember when I brought it back. I brought it out before I almost brought it out today. I don't remember. That's how long it's been. I can promise that's the truth. So I got up, and before walking out, I let my therapist know they were way off base. It just goes to show how well they know their clients, because they clearly don't know me and where I am at in this whole recovery thing. And I shouldn't even call it a recovery thing. In this life of recovery, I am so dead set on not going back. It's not even funny. And when I said this conversation's done, I'll be taking this conversation elsewhere, she says, you can't talk to me like this. I said, yeah, my therapist is a girl. She said, you can't talk to me like this. You don't know who you're talking to. I paused like that, and I proceeded with the following. Unfortunately, I do know who I'm talking to. That's the off-putting part. I had trust in you. I trusted you. And I feel like you should have had just a little bit of trust in me, to give me a chance to tell you that I'm not whatever you think happened, I didn't do. I'm not a liar. I'm a lot of things. I used to be a horrible liar. And to get where I'm at right now, where I don't lie, it took work. About 4 months. And what I went through, maybe I can talk more on another episode because there's more to it. I went through some work. I did the footwork. I took the time to sit down, take inventory on what was going on, how my thoughts were, and the bad habit I formed, and knowing it was going to take some work to break that habit. But my mom always told me something, and it rang true today. Kill them with kindness. There's a verse in the Bible that says, "Give." It's basically whatever an enemy comes at you with something to hurt you, put it back on their head like hot coals. That's paraphrasing. I don't know the exact verse. I'm not going to act as if I do, but putting those hot coals on their head. I relate that to kill them with kindness in the fact that I'm not going to sit here and hurt you physically myself. I'm going to kill you with kindness because it's going to be counterproductive if I argue with whatever this person at any point in my life wants to argue about. In this case, it was my sobriety being questioned. And I took that to heart. It hurt to be questioned the way I was questioned. Well, there's a code that, or I don't know if that's the right term, but therapists go into an agreement to have their clients' best interests, to treat their clients with dignity and respect. I repeat, treat your client with dignity and respect. I didn't get either one of those in this situation. And that wasn't even on the forefront of my mind. That came up after, I sat down. I went to the person in charge of the program, and thankful to this person that I have a high regard for. They immediately got into action on my behalf, and they validated how I felt, people. This was the best. Surprise, surprise, my therapist suddenly left for the day, for the holiday. So you mean to tell me you just shook my bottle of champagne up, popped the top right before the holiday, and you dipped? You are a coward. You're not good at your job, in my opinion. You should look into working as a cashier somewhere behind the door because you're not good with people, in my opinion. So, there's going to be some things that take place on Tuesdays. So what I did was I wrote down the events on paper. Something else my mom always told me. When something happens, write it down, because when you write it down, it's fresh in your mind. You get every detail. That way you don't have to stumble and try to think back. I don't have to, because you know what? I'm going to go about my weekend. I'm going to make the best of my weekend. I'm going to enjoy my holiday. Now, I don't wish harm on anybody, but I do feel as though, in my opinion, something is going to take place next week. And listen, if it's as simple as just apologizing to me, I am prepared to listen. Something I will say is I was asked immediately, would you like to switch therapists? Now, people, I'm going to tell you this was hard, but I did take a second and I thought about it, and I thought, you know what? I'm an addict. I'm an ex-addict. I'm in recovery. I'd be one hell of a hypocrite if I decided to jump ship on somebody because they made a mistake. That's not what I should do when I don't want people to jump ship on me because I made a mistake. So I still have this person as a therapist. I want to hear their side of things. I want to hear them out. I want to give them a chance to right their wrong so they can have that peace and I can get my closure on the whole deal one way or another. And I hope that they do realize I don't need their apology to get my closure. I don't feel I did anything wrong. I don't feel like I was inappropriate. I don't feel like I was out of line. But you know what? Unfortunately, as I was leaving my therapist's office, letting her know the conversation was done, I was scared that I was going to get let go of this program because I was being disrespectful. I thought, upon telling it to other people that are higher up than my therapist, I was thankfully validated that I was not disrespectful. My position at the program is not in jeopardy. But I do hope this therapist realize that they put that into motion for me. I would have never felt like I was in jeopardy if I didn't have to walk out of a situation that I felt like I was being, bulldozed on, and it wasn't even valid. It was not true. Ironically, a day before she says this, a day or two after she thinks that I did this, I dropped. We drop every week in the program I'm in. Well, guess what, guys? I dropped clean. So that, and then I immediately went into defense mode, right? I felt like I had to go in defense mode because I was being questioned and challenged in my truth. Guess what Google does, guys? It tracks your phone if you leave your location on it. Your daily events. It says where you go. Guess where I was at the night in question. Question. Jeez. I was at my apartment, like I said. Now, I feel good to the situation. The two people I tried to show my Google tracking location to immediately looked at me and said they believed me. They didn't need to see what was on my phone. They believed me. They believed I was telling them the truth. Guys, I'm going to tell you, for me, I couldn't have asked for a better Christmas present. That was a good feeling. And I'm thankful for people like that. I'm thankful that people can see that I mean this. I care about this. I want recovery. They always say, you gotta want it. I want it. And I'm doing everything to keep it. This situation hurt. It was hard. And it's not finished. Gonna deal with it next week. Gonna enjoy my holiday. To the two guys that were in my apartment, I wish them nothing but the best. And I do hope that they find themselves back to recovery sooner rather than later, or before it's too late. It's tough. And as an addict or as an ex-addict in recovery, we see relapse a lot, right? People are at meetings, then they're not. People are in your house, then they're not. People in your life, then they're not, because you're in recovery and they're not. It's not easy. I'm very fortunate to have some great people in my life. And to those people, just know, I'm in it for the long haul. So get used to me, baby. I'm going to be here, sober, fighting against this thing called addiction, fighting for people in recovery. I felt like I knew how my therapist should have handled that situation because I want to be in this field. I was contemplating on going back to school to finish up being a lawyer, or go back to school and go towards the psychology or therapist end of things. And I am more leaning towards the therapist end of things. Psychologists, therapists, all the above in certain steps, in certain order, obviously. And I felt if I was the therapist in that situation, and I thought that I had a client that relapsed, after asking my client if they were okay, even if I had an inkling or I was told wrong information, my first wouldn't even be a statement, it would be a question. Is there anything I can do to help? Anything I can do to help you? Do you need help with anything? I'm here to help. Can I help you in any way? And I didn't get that. I was accused of something that reminded me of the old me, and that's lying. So it hurt. Didn't get defensive. I was calm. I let them know they were wrong, and that didn't make a difference. Continued to beat me over the head in a metaphorical form, letting me know that they thought I was a liar. And that sucked. Don't jump to conclusions. Assuming does make an ass out of you and me. And I don't know about you, but that's not the kind of ass I'm looking for. Pun definitely intended there. I hope good things come from the reactions that are going to take place because of these actions that happened today. I hope that my therapist is open and has the willingness to take constructive criticism, whether it's wanted or not. I'd be lying to say not a little bit's going to come out from me. And hopefully it's productive. But I cannot control other people's actions. I can only control mine. So I'm going to make sure I pay attention and give them the benefit that a human being so deserves. You know, it's that dignity and respect. I was asked if I want to file a grievance. I'll be honest with you guys, I haven't decided yet. I feel like if we can deal with it internally, I don't see a reason for a grievance. I get it. People make mistakes. We are all human. We're not perfect. And nobody on this earth is perfect. The big guy upstairs, man, he's fucking awesome. He's perfect. I trust in him. I have faith in him. So everything that happens will be because of him. This has been another rant. I'm going to be honest. I planned on only doing an episode, which I do have another episode, regular podcast to post that I've been working on. But that's the fun thing about rants, right? They just come up and we get to rant about it. Thank you guys for listening. I love you all. I appreciate all the likes, the subscribes across all the platforms, all the love I'm getting from these episodes. And I think that I should always put something at the end, a takeaway, right? My takeaway is this. Make sure you have all the information. And even if you think you have all the information, make sure you approach the situation with a little bit of couth. I love that word, couth. Sounds like some kind of fancy dessert or like sauce you put on something, right? Yeah, I'll take a order of couth. Just give me a little extra couth on that. You should know that everybody needs to be treated with the respect that you want to be treated with. I'm sure this therapist would never want somebody to come at them like they came at me. Maybe somebody did, and this is a trickle effect. But I tell you what, we're stopping that trickle effect here with me. Because I am one unique son of a bitch. I promise you that. I just want good things. And the only way we're going to get to that is if we all help each other, therapist or not. I'm not a therapist, but I'm more than happy to help anybody, therapist or not, as long as they're open to receiving it. I don't have all the answers. I'm not perfect, but I got a lot to offer. Even in times of sadness, times of being thrown to the wolves, times of being questioned, times of being blamed where no blame is needed. People are worth second chances. And I'm going to give that to my therapist. Hopefully, if anything, it prevents this from happening again down the line to somebody else. You know, it's like the law library. This is going to be therapist versus Jason Hull. Well, when this happened. So let's try to not do that again, and let's go a different path. Hopefully a better one. But until then, this has been another episode of Rants with Red. And as always, stay clean, America. Love you guys. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. If I don't spit my words at you again before the first of the year, Happy New Year. Like I said, the episode that I recorded that I'm going to be posting sometime in the next 24 hours besides this rant, I already recorded. So, again, happy holidays. I love you guys. Stay clean, America. And I'll see you guys again next week.